For 25 years, he's been the same apartment building's janitor. Residents call him Old Mike, giving him orders showing him no respect. Every morning he mops the floors, takes out trash, never complains. But tonight, as terrorists holding 50 people hostage are about to learn who this ordinary janitor really is. Welcome to the Silent Legends. Before we begin today's story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from, and if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button to support us. Apartment residents called him Old Mike, 58 years old, average height, quiet man. Every morning at 6 a.m. he'd wake up clean every corner of the building, work until evening without rest. But nobody ever thanked him. "Mike, why are these stairs so dirty?" Mrs. Henderson from 3B would yell. "I'll clean them right away, ma'am." Mike would say, lowering his head. "You picked up the trash late again. It's starting to stink." Mr. Johnson from 2A would complain. "Sorry, won't happen again," he'd say with the same calmness. It had been like this for 25 years, never arguing back, never fighting, just doing his job. Residents thought he was ignorant, uneducated, ordinary. But the truth was very different. Mike's real name wasn't Mike Thompson. He was Major Michael Ghost Patterson, former deltaforce commander. 20 years serving in America's most elite unit, he had saved the world 3 times over. But nobody knew this. Every morning while mopping the floors, he was actually updating the building layout in his mental map. Every corner, every exit, every weak point, he knew them all. While cleaning, he observed the apartment residents. Who was home, who was at work, what they did at what time. He had a 25-year intelligence database in his head. While residents looked down on him, he was protecting them. During night shifts, he wasn't just cleaning. He was identifying suspicious individuals, conducting risk analysis, preparing emergency plans, because old habits never die. It was 11:30 p.m. Mike was doing his final checks. 5-story building, 20 apartments, 56 residents. Everyone was home. Everyone was safe. At least that's what he thought. He sat in his basement room drinking his coffee. Old photographs hung on the wall. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. But these were photos from operations nobody knew about. And in the corner, a locked cabinet. Only he knew what was inside. At 11:45 p.m., the power went out. It could have been a normal power cut, but Mike's instincts immediately sounded the alarm. The timing was too suspicious. Midnight, all residents sleeping, no external lighting. He looked outside through the basement window. 2 black vans had parked on the street. Engines off, but vapor coming from exhausts showed the vehicles were running. Mike's pulse quickened. After 25 years, his tactical mind was reactivating. At 11:47 p.m., he heard metal cutting sounds at the building's main entrance. At 11:48 p.m., footsteps in the basement. At 11:49 p.m., screaming sounds from upper floors. Mike immediately locked his room, grabbed the hidden radio from under his bed. Multiple hostiles building, compromised, civilians in danger. He whispered into the radio, but no response came. It had been jammed. Now he was alone, just like 25 years ago. The sounds from upper floors were horrifying. Door knocking, shouting, crying. Mike listened to the ceiling. Every sound, every footstep, every cry. He tracked them on his mental map. 6 hostiles, 2 on ground floor security, on upper floors gathering civilians. Pattern analysis, professional operation, systematic floor clearance, proper cover formation, military training. Mike opened the locked cabinet. What he pulled out reminded him of operations from 25 years ago. Modified tactical vest, concealable under civilian clothes, suppressed Glock 19, 2 spare mags, combat knife, ceramic undetectable by metal detectors, night vision goggles, compact version, tactical earpiece, encrypted frequency, flashbang grenades, 2 units homemade, but most important, building blueprint, the detailed floor plan he'd been drawing for 25 years. Every room, every window, every ventilation shaft. Perfect intelligence. At 11:52 p.m., he heard footsteps in the basement, someone coming down. Mike immediately switched to combat mode. The 25-year civilian mask dropped off. Now he was Major Michael Patterson. He slowly opened the basement door. In the darkness with night vision, he saw one terrorist AK-47 equipped amateur movement. Mike executed a silent takedown in 3 seconds. Knife to throat, no sound body hidden. AK-47 confiscated. Now he was armed. From the tactical earpiece, he intercepted conversations. Alpha Team, 2nd floor, secured 12 civilians. Bravo Team, 3rd floor, secured 15 civilians. Charlie Team, 4th floor, secured 18 civilians. Delta Team, 5th floor, secured 11 civilians. Total 56 civilians. All apartment residents had been taken hostage. Command, all floors secured. Begin Phase 2, Phase 2. Mike knew this terminology. Execution phase.
The leader's voice on radio teams, you have 30 minutes. Kill every witness. Leave no trace. Mike's blood ran cold. This wasn't just a robbery, it was mass execution. The apartment residents. People who had looked down on him for 25 years, humiliated him, called him Old Mike. Now their lives were in his hands. Mike began making a tactical plan. 6 hostels, 8 floors, 56 civilians, 80 minutes, mission objective, 0 civilian casualties. Mike went up to the first floor through the ventilation shaft. His building layout knowledge was an advantage. Every shaft, every hidden passage, every structural weakness. 25 years of recon bearing fruit. On the first floor were 2 terrorists. Back-to-back formation professional positioning.
But Mike knew their blind spot. Suppressed double tap. 2 down, no sound. From tactical earpiece, Alpha Team report status. Silence, Alpha Team respond immediately. Mike took Alpha Team's radio. Alpha, here, all clear. Continue mission, perfect voice modulation. 20 years of covert ops experience. He moved to the second floor. In the hallway, 15 civilians lined up execution style. 1 terrorist guarding. Mike threw a flashbang. 3-second stun, civilian confusion, terrorist disoriented. Silent approach. Knife takedown, civilians freed. Quietly. Go to the basement, he whispered. Don't make any noise. The residents were in shock. Who was this old Mike? Mike, you, Mrs. Henderson began. Don't talk. Move, command voice. Military authority. Absolutely non-negotiable tone. 15 civilians safely extracted. 3rd floor, in civilians, terrorist. Mike approached from the ceiling. The terrorist had taken a sniper position at the window watching the street. Mike dropped down behind him, silent chokehold. 30 seconds unconscious. 18. Civilians freed, directed to basement. 4th floor, 11 civilians, terrorist. This terrorist was more alert, constantly moving, checking corners, professional paranoia. Mike threw a distraction, small object to the opposite end. Terrorist moved to investigate. Perfect moment, suppressed headshot from 15 meters. Civilians freed. 5th floor, 12 civilians. Terrorist plus leader. Most dangerous part. Leader obviously experienced heavily armed, suspicious mindset. Mike intercepted radio chatter. Team's report status. Alpha Bravo, Charlie Delta. Respond now. Silence from all teams. Something's wrong. Emergency extraction. Kill all witnesses immediately. No time for subtle approach. Mike breached the 5th floor aggressively. Flashbang through window, immediate entry. 2 terrorists, civilians, close quarters combat. 1st terrorist, disoriented by flashbang, easy takedown. Leader combat experienced, recovered quickly, started firing. Mike used civilian positioning for cover angles. Perfect room knowledge advantage. Leader shouted, "Who are you? Police, military?" Mike didn't respond. Professional silence. Leader, you killed my entire team. Impossible. Still no response. Psychological warfare. Close quarters. Battle. Leader had AK-47. Mike had precision and knowledge. Mike used building structure. Pillar coverage, angle advantage. Movement prediction. 30 seconds of tactical gunfight. Final shot. Leader down. Mission completed. Total time, 18 minutes. Civilian casualties, 0. Terrorist casualties, 6. Silent eliminations. Gunfire exchanges, and police arrived 10 minutes later. FBI SWAT news crews. Chaos. Residents gathered in the basement. All had the same shock. Mike saved us. But Mike wasn't there. He had hidden his equipment, put on normal clothes, returned to his normal place in the basement. When police questioned him, I was scared too. Hid in the basement. Don't know what happened. Perfect civilian act. Detective. How could such systematic elimination happen? This is professional killer work. Mike. I don't know, I'm just the janitor. Mrs. Henderson to police. Mike saved us. He's a hero, Mike. No, ma'am. I didn't do anything, just ran and hid. Modesty deflection. Invisible heroism. 3 days later, the apartment returned to normal routine, but something had changed. Residents now looked at Mike differently. They didn't call him Old Mike anymore. They called him Mr. Mike. Mrs. Henderson. Mr. Mike. No amount of thanks would be enough. Mr. Johnson. We owe you. Whatever you want, Mike. I don't want anything, just doing my job. But now, apartment residents knew he wasn't just a janitor. They didn't know what he was, but they understood he wasn't ordinary. One evening, 16-year-old Tyler came to the apartment. Mr. Mike, he said. What really happened that night? You're not just a janitor, are you? Mike studied him, young, curious, but respectful. Tyler, he said, sometimes people aren't what they appear to be. Sometimes the most ordinary-looking person has the most extraordinary story. What did you do that night? What needed to be done? Were you military? Everyone serves in their own way. Cryptic answers, never confirming, never denying. Mike returned to his normal routine. Every morning stairs, every evening trash, every night security check. But now residents saw him differently, not just as a janitor, but as a guardian. Children called him Elderly called him Guardian Mike, young people called him Legend. But Mike never accepted any of it. "I'm just the janitor," he'd always say. He still kept his basement equipment ready because he knew threats never ended. One night, he detected suspicious activity in the building. Same pattern again, power cut, multiple vehicles, coordinated approach. This time, apartment residents didn't panic. "Mr. Mike will handle it," they told each other. "As long as he's here, we're safe." And they were right. For 25 years, people who had looked down on him now trusted him because they had realized real protectors don't wear uniforms or medals. They just quietly do their duty. Now, I ask you, have you ever met someone like Mike? Someone who looks ordinary but actually has an extraordinary past? These kinds of people are everywhere. Building janitors, store cashiers, taxi drivers. On the surface, they do ordinary jobs, but in their past, unimaginable stories are hidden. Maybe right now in your building, in your neighborhood, someone like this is living. And you never notice them, because real heroes don't seek attention. They just take action when needed. Tell us in the comments. Have you ever known someone like this? Have you met someone who looked ordinary but was extraordinary? If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe, because at The Silent Legends we'll continue telling stories like this. And remember, sometimes the most ordinary looking person in your building might be the most extraordinary guardian you never knew you had.